jingle, Ashley.
As long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. As long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in.
We've got Aynsley Damery. How the devil are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Are you a bit like Pete Waterman? Sing the theme tune, play the theme tune.
Absolutely. You noticed, did you?
I did.
Well, see, the thing is, right, I wrote that song donkeys years ago. And it's all about being positive, seeing a glass half full. The song is actually called Full Cup. And so when I was thinking of setting up my business, I was like, oh, what can I call it? I didn't want to call it Ashley Leeds. Maybe I should have done. But I thought, I'll call it Full Cup, and then I ended up doing lives, and I thought, oh, I've got a theme tune, and I've also got on my t-shirt here the strap line is "You get out what you put in," all from that song. So who knew? So join those dots up. It's absolutely incredible. Aynsley Damery, for anyone that doesn't know who the devil you are, please tell us a brief potted history.
A brief potted history. Oh, I don't know. I got into accounting because I saw what my dad, he had moved from a corporate world into small business and was struggling, as small business owners do, not understanding the I suppose the basics of running their business from a financial perspective. And he had a great friend who was an accountant who did amazing work for him and really made a massive difference. And we could see that as a family. So I wanted to be that person. I wanted to be the one that made a difference. So that's kind of why I got into accounting. I was at KPMG, as you do, and I realized that we were doing great work for really big companies, but we weren't really helping the mums and dads businesses that are the driver of economies. And that's really what I wanted to get involved with. I'm a 5th generation small business owner, which I didn't realize until recently. And so it's been in the kind of the blood. So I wanted to make sure that we were doing that same great work for smaller businesses and making a massive difference. And so I'd always been, I suppose, encouraged to get out on my own when I was quite young. And so I left KPMG and I joined a regional accounting firm in the UK. And I took that from a compliance-only accounting firm to a niche business advisory firm, I don't know, over a period of 10 or 15 years. You know, that's a story. It takes, I don't know how long to get to overnight success. And we won a huge number of awards for the way we did business. I mean, we did really look at what small business owners were looking for from an accountant and tried our best to really deliver that. So we won a lot of awards for innovation and business advisory. And I think I felt that's great, but we were struggling to scale this business. And I made loads of mistakes, which I'm sure we'll get into. We're struggling to scale the business, and I wanted to make a bigger impact. And I knew that accountants are really the best placed individuals to help small business owners. You know, there's a few that will be able to do it themselves, but it's a lonely place, small business. You need people to talk to. So accountants are the best placed individuals, I think, to be able to make a massive difference to small businesses. So I wanted to really empower accountants to do that very same thing. And that's why Steve and I set up Clarity to help accountants make a massive difference to small business owners in real sense, and not just theory and not just whatever. It's yeah.
No, absolutely. And the thing is, right, with accountancies, with accountants, I'm not sure when we first met, but it is donkeys years ago, because I came up to Cheltenham. It was Cheltenham, wasn't it? Or Cheltenham Kings, or that sort of area.
Cheltenham,
yeah, it was Cheltenham. And I came up to this practice, and it was the coolest practice I have ever seen. I was like, oh my goodness, this guy is so cool. You had an airplane wing as a table in the front office. And then when we went upstairs into the meeting room and we had a meeting and what have you, it was just a really cool room. There was suites in the middle. It was just, you know, like I said, donkeys years ago, it's got to be 10 or 15 years ago when we first met, Aynsley. And I think a lot more accountants are doing that at the moment now. And I do seem to bump into cool accountants and bookkeepers. But why did you do all of that stuff when most of the accountants back then were beige and blue and, you know, just you know, what was your thinking back then?
I think because we had pushed the boundaries on what accountants were doing, and we were talking about what we were doing all the time, about how different we were, and we dressed the same. Our offices looked the same. Everything was the same, and people couldn't really put the two together. So it was like, well, you say you're different, but everything's the same. So I think the first stage of that rebranding was completely transforming our website, which looked cool at the time. I mean, it will look so dated now, but at the time it was quite different from everything else that was out there in an accounting world. And I then thought, well, okay, well, that's fine. But then when they come and visit us, they're still experience the same thing. So we tried to bring the feeling of that website into the building. So we had grapevines in vinyls going up the building. We had, the brown colors were throughout the building. As you know, it was very bright building. An aircraft wing desk. Like, we just tried to look different in every way from a normal accounting firm, and behave differently, and dress differently, and do all the things differently, so that we kind of emphasized what we were saying. And it was something like really stupid, like that strap line that we came up with, which was accounting for entrepreneurs, that transformed how people saw us. And went, oh, now we get you. And I was like, really? That made the difference? But it seemed to. Well, I mean, look, it's a piece and a piece and a piece and a piece together that make the difference. But that was the thing that probably meant people went, now I understand.
Yeah, and this really makes me laugh, because if you Google accountants, we're different, you'll get loads come up, because they all say the same thing. But you are absolutely being different with everything that you did there, because of all the different things you were doing. Were you pinks and purples and that sort of color?
Yeah, we had pink became the favorite brand color, which wasn't intended. It was a kind of an olive and a tiny kind of a rose color. So that rose then became the dominant color that everybody wanted. And we used to have simple phone covers as giveaways for clients and friends, and they wanted the team pink ones, and so we just went to town on that kind of rose pink color and went mad on it. It was different at the time.
But this is the thing, and because as soon as you say accountant to somebody, they've all got their preconceived ideas. But what you were doing was totally different, and you smashed all those preconceived ideas. And I think that's what we need to. We anything that we're selling, anything that we're doing, any services or products that we're providing, we have to be a little bit different to everybody else, don't we?
Absolutely. And the thing is, right, small business owners don't understand what we do. They don't get it. And they, I mean, let's not go into that, but everybody here will be going, who's an accountant, will be going, absolutely. They don't understand how we create a set of accounts. It's not relevant to them, and it's not important for them, and they shouldn't. So they judge us by other things, and those things, while small, are very important. And if you put that much effort into how the team looks, and how the building looks, and how they're treated when they enter, and how they're made to feel special, then that's the impact. They're gonna remember the feeling, not the accountant. And everybody expects an accountant to be able to do accounts and tax returns and do it well. It's what can you do above and beyond that to help me?
Okay, so what does all of that cost to do?
Well,
it's not a lot, is it? That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah. You think all these things that you do must cost an absolute fortune, but it doesn't, and it
doesn't need to.
No, absolutely. So you ran this amazing practice, and you're doing advisory, and we need to. I think I'll stop there. What is advisory? Because we hear that word bandied around all the time. So let's just do that first, because if anyone knows what advisory is, you should be able to give us an amazing answer.
Well, if you put 5, 10, 15, 20 accountants in a room, I think you're going to get a different...
You get 40 different... If you put 20 in a room, you're going to get 40 different
different definitions of what business advisory is. I think it's helping business owners achieve their goals.
As simple as that.
Yeah. Whatever they're looking to achieve in their business, it's you being there to be able to help them make that happen.
Yeah. But this is the thing, right? Every business owner has got a different business goal. So then that's where it becomes difficult.
Well, yes, but a lot of the goals will come from a similar underlying requirement, which plays to the strengths of accountants. And so whilst up front, everybody might want something different, what gives that difference is very similar under the bonnet. And accountants have that in spades. So accountants have the ability to understand the difference between profit and cash. They have the understanding and the analytical review to be able to say, well, that thing you said was going to work hasn't, I don't know if it's working or not, but it's certainly not generating the results that you need. We can see that inherently. We get numbers, we get percentages. The brain is wired to understand those things that most of the population don't get. And as accountants, we're used to being good with numbers, and we don't see it as powerful. It's like Steve is always talking about Superman. Superman on Krypton was nothing special. Superman on Earth was very different from everybody else. And I think that's the same with accountants. We don't realize the power that we have and the ability that we have to help small business owners make a massive difference.
Yeah, that Superman analogy is just perfect. Right, we're going to dig deeper in this. I'm just going to go back to where I was before. So you were doing advisory for your clients. You were running an amazing practice, a successful practice. But then you left and set up Clarity. So why? And tell us the story there, please, Aynsley.
I think we'd hit a ceiling. I think we had been doing the advisory that had been advocated by all the gurus and influencers and people over the years saying, you know, compliance is dead, which it's not. You need to move to advisory. Well, yes, you can. And then they give you this 1980s, 90s style advisory tools to be able to help you deliver business advisory. And in reality, the world has not moved beyond that Big Four McKinsey model in the 80s and 90s. And we might be bolting bits of technology on in our accounting firms to try and, you know, help with the automation in some parts and help with bits of the reporting or whatever. But the framework that has been given to accountants is, you know, old hat now. It needs evolving. It needs to change. And I had hit a glass ceiling as an accountant in our firm. We struggled to scale because that type of advisory, you know, a team member can only handle 10, 15 clients tops. And the cost of acquiring that team member, hiring, training, educating, keeping them. So whilst you might get decent revenue, the profitability from that is not where it needs to be. And so this drive for this old school revenue from business advisory, whilst it might seem nice on the face of it, is actually low profitability work. And it's hard, as we know, to recruit and retain. It's never been easy, but it's getting harder and harder and harder. And I can see that. I talk to accountants every day and the challenges that they're facing on recruitment and retention. So the getting the caliber of the team to deliver that type of advisory is impossible. I mean, it's too hard. It costs too much money. It takes up too much time. Clients don't get it. They don't want to pay for it. And so, like, I understand why accountants were struggling with advisory, why we struggled to scale business advisory. And I knew there had to be a better way to do this. And I met somebody who had exactly the same experience as me and who had exactly the same view. We need to change the way business advisory is delivered so that we're democratizing it, basically, empowering accountants to deliver business advisory to more small business owners and helping the accountants at the same time. It's win-win-win, really. Win for the accounting firm, win for the team because they're doing more challenging work and more inspiring work, and it's win for the clients. And, you know, that's gold.
Yeah, absolutely. So you set up Clarity, and now you help accountants and bookkeepers do the advisory piece, but it wasn't that easy. So come on, tell us a little bit of the story and how you got to where you are today, because you've been going a while now.
Yes, I think it was the year pre-pandemic. I think we started, I think we launched in the September 19. So a quick learning curve from an online and web perspective. Yeah, I mean, we've been having meetings online and doing all that sort of stuff, but the sales process, moving that entirely online and doing the whole thing was a big shift, and we had to learn that really, really quickly. It's never easy starting a business, as you know. Trying to get customers to trust you and buy from you and want to buy from you, that product market fit. What you think might be a great idea, some people might think is not such a great idea. I think we then had enough experience about what we knew would work for us as accountants. So I kind of knew the product market fit bits, but it was making sure that it worked for accountants to start with. And I mean, we launched, I mean, I can say this in hindsight, but, you know, we launched, the day we launched in the UK was at Accountex. And the thing wasn't working that morning, and we had wireframes to try and pretend, to not pretend, but to try and show what it would look like when it was working. And we got it working, I think, about, 10 o'clock that day, just as we were launching. And that was kind of the very first beta. I mean, it was like minimum viable product to the nth, Ashley. And people still think of us as, oh God, Clarity is really simple. Well, yeah, we launched with a minimum viable product, and we adapted and moved and changed and innovated and built and built and built on the back of what people were doing with it, how they were using it, how they were engaging with it. And so we were constantly listening to what people and watching what people were doing with it. And so, we were trying to move for what people needed. And I was sick of being an accountant who was asking software companies, oh, if you could do this or if it could do that. And they're saying, like, either it's not on the roadmap or it's in the roadmap in 20 years' time, or what I've sold you isn't quite what we've got yet, but it will be next quarter. Or you're doing it wrong and you need to do it our way. And you're going, oh, okay. So we never wanted to be that company. We wanted to be something that was actually usable, valuable, and did what it said on the tin. And, the results speak for themselves at the moment. So, and that's just awesome to see, but it does take a while to get there, yes.
Well, if you're listening on the podcast, you wouldn't have seen me cringing then, because I'm sure we had some of those conversations. I think that was the reason that I came up to Cheltenham to see you, is because some of the things that our software company were doing weren't quite what you needed in your practice. So you're right. You are so right. I've got a couple of shout outs here. Hope is turning around and she's got a link for Clarity. So you can actually go and book a demo. And I guess that's your team, and they'll help you see exactly what Clarity does. Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you can give us 90 minutes a week, we've got a very simple implementation plan that generates success. It gets results within 3 months, and you'll get your money back plus more. And then you're on a road to 3xing your profitability. I mean, we've got firms at the moment doubling their profit year on year on year. So the system clearly works. Small business owners love it, want to be on board with it. So I just need 90 minutes a week. And if you can't give me 90 minutes a week, then we can talk about something else that we've got that might be able to help you. But 90 minutes a week for business advisory, a business advisory service offering that generates, I don't know, I can see some people on board here who are probably, making 150K from not full-time work on business advisory, which is falling down to the profitability straight line. So,
and this is the thing, you 90 minutes a week. Sharon, it's shocking that you're late, but at least you're here now. Thank you. But this is the thing, right? It's, you just said about hiring team members. I speak to quite a few accountants and bookkeepers, as you know, and yet never got enough time, and haven't got enough team members. But 90 minutes a week, we can find that, can't we?
Well, you would be surprised. So there's 3 reasons why accountants fail with Clarity. All right. So one is that they don't give me 90 minutes a week, even they promise they will.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that's first failure rate. The second failure rate is that they have a predetermined mindset that this will not work.
Yeah.
So they are setting out to prove to themselves that they're right.
That's that confirmation bias working, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the third thing is they just will not follow the plan. They're adamant that they can do it their own way and that it's going to work. Now, this is very different business advisory. It's transformational business advisory. So we have a path that works. I don't care that you then take it and play with and tweak it and make it your own. Go for it. But at least let's get it off the ground and get that momentum building so that the team are feeling comfortable and confident that they're getting success, and then we can adapt it and play with it. But yeah, those are the 3 reasons, and you will be astounded. Like, I suppose, hands up here, has anybody who's listening said, I just don't have the time? Like, that's a great idea, or that's really cool, but you don't understand, I just don't have the time.
I get it all the time with my LinkedIn training, which is why I talk about 15 minutes a day, because 15 minutes a day doesn't sound like a lot. That's almost an hour and a half a week, but that is 65 hours a year, 65 hours a year free marketing. And you're doing exactly the same. So you've basically built a playbook and a routine, a habit, a process throughout what clarity does, and we'll dig into what that is in a second. When I first started my sales career, I was a chef. All right. I trained as a chef, worked in the kitchen, didn't know anything about business. And this guy turned around to me and said, "You'd be a good sales guy, come and work for me." Just cut a long story short, I worked for him. And he just basically, he was successful. And he just turned around to me and said, "If you do what I say, you will be successful too." 3 years later, I was on a plane with the other 34 sales reps in that company that had achieved honors. And we went on a bit of a party in Marbella for four nights. And that was all because I just did exactly what I said. I didn't know anything else. I wasn't a sales guy, so I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know anything. I just followed his plan. And that's exactly what you're saying. It's like making a cake, isn't it, Aynsley? You know, you buy Jamie Oliver's book, you're going to be able to make amazing food. You
Absolutely.
just follow the recipe.
Exactly.
So come on, tell us a little bit about clarity and how this recipe book works.
Well, the recipe books works because it's not just technology, it's the education required around it, it's the help with implementation, it's the change management, it's the sales process, it's the marketing, it's the pricing. So effectively we help you sell, well, market first. I'll help you market, sell, price, deliver business advisory at scale. And that means that one person could probably handle, I think, if they're doing a very simple package with a small business owner, which would generate £250 a month to maybe £500 a month per customer, they can handle about 100 and something plus customers. So there's massive potential here. And that's what we're trying to do, is to help accountants understand, right? So they're bogged down in the nitty-gritty of compliance. They're chasing clients' deadlines. They probably got too many of the wrong clients on board, let's be honest. And so they're being that tail's wagging the dog. They're constantly chasing and chasing and chasing, and it's really hard to stop and just take a breather and just look at it from a helicopter view. You're kind of stuck in the grind. And I think a lot of accountants forget why they went into business in the first place. Like, why do they start in accounting?
Yeah.
What do they want to do? What do they all want to make a difference? Let's be honest. No accountant wants to sit there and just crunch numbers. Like, we're really good at crunching numbers.
Do tax returns. That's all I want to do.
Yeah. Accountants have a real driver to make a difference, or to make an impact, or to leave a legacy, or to help. And I think we get into that grind. So I think it's really, really important that we kind of take a step back, look at why do we get into accounting in the first place, and then look at the potential. Because this is the thing, right? Nature always looks to the possibilities and the potential. As accountants, we look at kind of a problem solution mentality, and we get stuck in a binary thinking mindset. You know, like, do I do this, or do I do this, or I'm going to do this first and then I'm going to do this, not realizing that we need to look at the bigger picture, understand what the possibility and the potential is, and then look to what we need to do to move towards that potential. So I think that's a big challenge that we're trying to get across to accountants, is that you're sitting on a gold mine generally. It's not like you've always got to go and get new clients here, that you're sitting on probably a gold mine, and it's about understanding that and understanding how you can help business owners in a way that's profitable for you, but valuable for them, and a price that they want to pay. And that's this is the next thing, isn't it? I'm just going to quickly give a shout out here. So where are we going? So Sharon saying it definitely works. Aynsley, Steve, and Clarity have transformed how we help our clients. And Penny's just come on and said, our clients, and team are loving clarity. So you said about clients. So what's in it for business owners like myself? You know, if my accountant hasn't got clarity, I should be picking up the phone right now and saying, hey, you need to speak to Aynsley. Here's this link that Hope has put up. Get on the phone. So what's in it for me, Aynsley, as a small business owner? As a small business owner, you are running around chasing fires, putting them out. How do you
know that? How do you know?
I've been there. I am a small business owner. I'm a 5th generation small business owner. So I've lived what small business owners go through from a very early age. And, you know, we're running around trying to do everything, and probably got into business not as accountants, right? When we get into business understanding the numbers, but lots of small business owners get into business not really understanding their numbers, understanding the movement of cash in their business, understanding the importance of all of that. And they kind of think, oh, I'm great at making cakes, so I'm going to set up a business making cakes, and they're going to be amazing, and everybody's going to want to come and pay me lots of money, and I'm going to make a fortune. I'm going to work fewer hours than I previously did, and I'm going to make more money than I was being paid by my employer, and everything is going to be rosy.
No, that's not true. So I need an accountant that's going to kick me up with the bum.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because as we have this as our superpower, we get numbers instantly, percentages, everything. We understand that, and we kind of just unload at our clients. And like the tradition, I mean, those are on here will tell you from accountants that they know that, you know, you go into a year-end meeting and the small business owners is quaking coming into the accountant in the first place because they are not at ease in that environment, which is why it's really important to make it really nice and friendly and cozy and relaxing and exciting. And they're coming into that environment scared to start with. And then they are bombarded with numbers. They're bombarded with tax bills. They're bombarded with accountancy fee bills. They're bombarded with overdrawn director's loan accounts. They haven't taken their salary in the right time, and they've taken money out too early. And then we need to declare a dividend to do that. And then you're going to have to pay tax, and that's going to double your payment on account in July, and you're going, or in January, and you're going, oh my God, this is just a nightmare. I don't really understand what's going on. And you run out of there going, At which point nobody's asked you, what are you trying to achieve here in the first place? Why are you in business? What are you looking to get out of it? How many hours do you want to work? What income do you want to earn? What does that look like? How can we map out a numbers plan that we can measure and see if you're actually hitting the right notes or not? And that's what's really simple to do. And that's why Clarity is so successful, I think. Well, we've got about 3 or 4 people on here who are using it with small business owners. But my perception of why it is because of the simplicity. We're taking out the complexity in numbers. We're helping small business owners understand their numbers better, understanding what decisions drive which numbers, understanding are the decisions that they're taking having the right financial impact in their business. And it's about this accountability piece as well, because studies show in the US that small business owners with written goals who are held accountable achieve 78% more.
Wow.
Now, I would think it's double. And my clients, I felt it was double. And I can see from the work we do with accountants, we're helping double their business. So I think it's double, but I'll go with 78% as a lower number. That's huge. And so that whole accountability piece, which is in our name, is built in and baked into the whole process with Clarity as well. So it's an ongoing process with a client. It's not like that old school advisory where you send out a client needs assessment, you have a strategic planning session, you get really excited building a financial model. The client doesn't know what they need to do to make the model come true. They get bored halfway through. You run 2 or 3 board meetings, and then they're going, what am I paying for? I don't understand this. I'm not getting anywhere, and I'm going to move on. With Clarity, the simplicity plays right through the whole way through the process, and the transparency and the understanding of what financial decisions or what decisions are having what impact on the finances. And the accountant, it's just playing to their strengths. It's what they can see. And they're just saying what they see. There was a talk show that used to have that, wasn't it? Say What You See. I can't remember what.
Yeah. It was that. Oh, wasn't that? Oh my goodness! It was the drawing. It was an Irish guy that did it. Someone.
Okay.
Yeah, Say What You See. I can't think. Oh, you've got me now. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Penny's saying, as accountants, Clarity enables us to look forward with our clients. Everything else we do is looking backwards, because it tells a story of their business in the way that they can easily understand. And I think that's the biggest problem facing small business owners. And you've got this sussed. We've run out of time. This is crazy. Business owners tell us they've never seen their numbers in this way. They love the simplicity. Sharon, that's what we need as business owners. It's too complicated doing everything else. And if I turn sideways on, you'll see how many grey hairs I've got since running my own business. If only I sold cakes. I just quickly want to ask you, is there anything that I haven't asked you, Aynsley?
Well, no, there's lots you haven't asked me, because we seem to have gone like in I don't know how quickly. I talk a lot, so I suppose that's my problem. What I would like to, and this is purely by coincidence, so this is not pre-planned. I know people will be thinking, oh my God, Aynsley's done this deliberately. No, I haven't. This is genuinely just happened today. We've launched a capacity creation program for accountants. So we've been running this elite program for the last 12 months with a group of accountants, and the results have been staggering. So there's been a 97% increase in profitability on average for those accounting firms over the last 12 months. They've increased their profitability, 97%, their revenue by 20%, gross profit percentage by 21%. So massive improvements. And lots of people say, well, that's great, Aynsley, but we just don't have the time. So what we've done is we've built a capacity creation program, which is a 7-week program supplemented by a 12-month coaching, access to coaching, to a call every fortnight. So it's 24 calls, 7-week program to help you get the time in your accounting firm. So get the time, stop over-engineering the work that you need to do, make more money, have more fun doing it. And it's a simple way to just get your foot on the rung. So if for whatever reason you say, I don't have the time, then this is what you need to be looking at as an accountant. It will get you started. It'll free up some time, give you some income, help pay for the investment in the future development of your firm. Hope has put the link in there. She's also probably going to put the Black Friday code, because I genuinely, it launched today. You think I'm lying. It genuinely launched today. 35% discount, Black Friday discount. Hope will probably put the coupon code in the chat as well.
Fantastic. Before I come to you for your question about LinkedIn, I'm just going to quickly say who I've got on next week. I don't know if you know Alexis, but he's coming on next week. Alexis Kingsbury. I was on his podcast a couple of weeks ago. Really, really nice guy. We're going to be chatting about building a playbook. So looking forward to having a chat with him. So what's your question for me about LinkedIn then, Aynsley?
Well, Hope I think has put the wrong code. That should be BLCK Fry, I think 24, but maybe she'll double check that for us.
Okay.
And put that in. What's my question for you? So we've seen with social media where business owners, like we've had all this talk about Twitter, Facebook, you name it, over the last number of years. But the biggest success that we've certainly seen for lots of clients has been on LinkedIn. But they don't have the time. So what do they do to actually get the biggest, what's the minimum they need to do to make a difference on LinkedIn and help themselves?
Biggest bang for their buck.
Yes.
So they need to make sure their profile, when I come to their profile, I know exactly what they're doing. And your clients are going to be accountants and bookkeepers, okay? Now, what happens is we've all got a preconceived idea of what an accountant and bookkeeper does. So change that narrative, all right? Stop calling yourself accountant at ABC, accountants whatever under your headline, because that's the thing. So your headline needs to be a little bit different. Mine is the 15-minute guy, not LinkedIn trainer or business coach or anything like that. 15-minute guy, because that sparks curiosity. It also ties into the fact that I teach a 15-minute a day process. But make sure your profile just shouts what you do. In your banner, don't have a photograph of your offices. Actually write in there what you do. And if you know of anybody who's got a 10-year-old kid, okay, so you might have a friend, a relative, you might even have a 10-year-old kid yourself. If you show them the banner on LinkedIn and say, hey, what do I do? And that 10-year-old kid can go, oh, you do this, this, and this for these sorts of people, then you've got a great banner. If they look at that banner and go, then you're not winning. And that's the thing. We don't get 10-year-old kids on LinkedIn, but we do behave like 10-year-old kids when we're scrolling through LinkedIn. So I think that's the very first thing you need to do. Your profile needs to shout exactly what you do. And we do have a Black Friday discount code.
Cool. And accountants enrich the lives of small business owners.
Yeah.
In simple terms.
And that we should be putting that in our LinkedIn profile, because again, we've got this preconceived idea. Accountants, they just do our tax return. And we need to change that. And so that all comes with education. That comes with an amazing LinkedIn profile. Aynsley, you've been an awesome guest. I thoroughly enjoyed our chat. I wish we could have delved deeper into airplane wings and stuff like that. But it's a short show. But thanks ever so much indeed. And speak to you soon. And thank you very much to everybody that's coming on and adding loads of comments. You've got a lot of fans out there.
Well, we make a difference. I want to make a difference. It's real. It's not theory. It's not bull. It's real. So talk to us.
Perfect. Thanks ever so much indeed. You take care. Cheerio. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose.